Excellent. It appears as though we are live. Hopefully, the thumbnail will actually change to the one that we're using today. I know the splash screen. Ah, there it goes. There it goes. Yeah. There we are. There we are. Okay. Well. All right. It looks like we are online. Everything looks hunky-dory. I am here with Irving Twin. I just want, before I get into anything, I just wanted to thank everybody who watched the Terra Sin interview last week. That was quite a it was quite a successful first try at these kind of interviews. She certainly enjoyed herself, and I enjoyed myself, and it was a nice little time there. Certainly a good addition to this Chaos 120 group channel that you are now watching. Thank you for stopping by and having fun with us here in this interview time. As soon as this is over, you may choose to exit this wonderful channel, or you may decide to stick around for a bit and watch some of the material that, of course, our good friend and Tuesday host, Veteran Mountain Man, has provided for us. So hey, it's up to you. It's your time, and you choose to use it however you will. And thank you for choosing to use it to watch us here. So we have the angry drunk Canadian Irving Twin. He is, of course, one of our Chaos 120 group regulars. He has streamed with us quite often and has gotten to know a lot of us really, really well. And I've certainly got to know this guy pretty well. And well, it is both an honor and a pleasure to have him here to talk with us tonight. How are you doing tonight there, Irving Twin?
Very well, Six. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
Really glad.
Oh, you're perfect. Hey, it's great to have you. Great to have you.
I love your backdrop too here. This is very cool to look at.
Oh, thank you. That is, of course, there is a template that I made for everybody in Chaos 120. If they should decide to do interviews themselves, they can use the template, which would be sans your picture, and just has the drapes, the red drapes in the background, and they just paste whatever they want there.
It's well done.
Thank you very much. So, Irving, you are from the great city of Toronto, Canada.
I wouldn't be that generous, but yeah.
It is my knowledge that you are not, in fact, a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh dear. Okay, so obviously, like a good Toronto boy, all the Canadians love the hockey, and yeah, I was a fan of my hometown until one day my dad told me the great big secret, the lie. The Maple Leafs are the richest team in the league, and they have been since before the last time they won the cup, which was the last time there was 6 teams in the league in 1967. They're so rich, they don't have to win anymore. And no one in their management and ownership ever makes too much of an effort. And I was like, oh my God, it's all like my world came tumbling down.
The mirrors and the smoke were blinding.
Yep. And yeah, so I actually fell off of hockey altogether. But now, if anybody asks, I'm a fan of the Jets.
There you
go. Winnipeg.
Go Winnipeg Jets. I actually had a cat that I named Winnipeg.
Really?
Yep, I had a cat named Winnipeg. He was a good boy. He lived to the ripe old age of 18.
Oh wow!
And a couple of friends painted a picture of himself and his sister, which I named Vancouver. Yeah, and I have these little engraved dog tags that are also on the. I'll take a picture of it sometime. I also took a picture of the whatchamacallit candy bar that I'll be sending to you later.
Actually, we had those in Winnipeg. Never had them in Toronto.
Really?
Can't find them. Yeah.
Well,
hey, before we get too far, a mill named Winnie the Pooh after the bear named Winnie in the Winnipeg Zoo.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love that. I used to love that show, Winnie the Pooh, and the books, of course.
Hmm.
There's supposed to be some Christopher Robin movie that they've made that might be interesting. I don't know. That depends. It I'm always suspect with these live action iterations of anything like that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, me too.
no whatchamacallits in Toronto, huh? Well,
Not that I'm.
hey, maybe it's the curse of the Maple Leafs that have made it so mediocre that they could not carry the great candy bar whatchamacallit.
Uh, that's funny and all, but there is some weird trade stuff that happens in Canada. Like, the are you familiar with the potato chip brand Old Dutch?
I've heard of the name, never tried it.
Okay, they're great, and in Winnipeg, it's the brand all the way out to the West Coast. But in Ontario, right, one
Hmm.
province over, they weren't allowed to sell here for decades. It's only recently, in the past maybe 10 or 15 years, that somehow the trade was opened up. But it was basically like Old Dutch in the West and like Lay's in the East. And I think it might be the same with certain candy bars, and that's why you can find them in Winnipeg, but you can't find them in Toronto.
It may boil down to some kind of corporate deal that was made. I know in the States, where you get Pepsi in restaurants, you don't get Coke as well. So they have one
Hmm.
or the other. There's exclusive rights to one establishment by one soda brand or the other. It's a really kind of bizarre. But from a marketing standpoint, of course, you don't want your rival being in the same establishment. So you would, of course, have those exclusive rights to that particular establishment. Um, and supermarkets, it's much the same way. They have zones that have dedicated to one brand or the other.
Mm. And see, to a degree, I understand that, right? That like one business makes a deal with another, will exclusively sell your products for a discount,
Hmm.
right? I get it. But an entire province
Right,
being
right,
cut
right.
out of the business, that is just strange.
I've so one of the premises of the movie The Smokey and the Bandit is that outside of Texas, you couldn't get a certain brand of beer, so that's the whole premise of them smuggling that brand of beer to a location outside of the state. If
Hmm.
I haven't seen that movie in years, so I don't know if that's actually if it actually goes on like that, that some states will sell uh, a certain brand of stuff and or a certain chain of some fast food. I just don't know. I don't know enough about that. Um, the audience may not know enough about. I guess what would you regard as your red pill sort of moment? What was that thing that I know there's a stereotype anymore that Canadians are a bunch of cucks that are
Yeah.
worship at the feet of the altar of Trudeau, and but you're certainly not one of those kind of Canadians. So what was the thing that brought you over to the dark side? Yes, we have cookies.
uh, just browsing YouTube, I came across a woman making videos, and she talked about the concept of the disposable male. And her name is Karen Strawn. She's now one of the infamous honey badgers.
Hmm.
And that got me hooked on this idea. Like, wait a minute. Yeah, men are considered disposable. Like, and most of us don't even question, right?
Right,
Ship is sinking, building is burning, women and children first.
right.
And all the men can die. Like, and when she put it that way, it started to, yeah, really make me think harder about it. And if she was the mother of my awakening, then my father was most definitely Teal Deer.
Interesting.
You're
Interesting.
familiar with him, yeah. And
Yes.
watching his videos, I would have to guess the man is by trade a research scientist, just judging by the amount of legwork he's willing to do for a YouTube video.
Yeah, he's definitely a researcher of some type.
And I
He's
would
got the
think he has
chops.
yeah, he's a very, very smart man. Not a person I think I would want to spend any time. Like I wouldn't want to grab a beer with Teal Deer, but I'm happy to listen to him educate. That's
Right,
yeah.
right. You'd listen to like a lecture or like an interview or something, but yeah, as
Mm.
far as grabbing a slice of pizza with a dude, that might be a little unpleasant. Might be a little awkward.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like a lot of YouTubers come and go with this kind of content, and when he's not uploading regularly, I really miss him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to go without my dose of Teal Deer, you know.
There you go. There you go. Everybody's got their favorite sort of things. Insofar as your own content, what is your process as far as you see something that it catches your eye, interests you, and then where do you take it from there?
I don't know if I would call it a process so much as like a neurosis. Uh, yeah, no, I mean, after my red pilling, that's I'm air quoting. I know you can't see that.
Right.
I started looking more and more into it and hearing more and more about this stuff, and I started bringing it up in real life with people.
Hmm.
And most people aren't as deep into the internet as, well, we are, right?
Right. Right.
So they don't hear about this, and most people don't see it day to day, right?
Right.
So I just became really unfun at parties and at bars and stuff. And hey, Cass.
Hey, Cass.
And yeah, and Death and Rider. Sorry, guys, I didn't yet. I see you too. But
Hey, guys.
it came to a point where people didn't want to talk to me, and I still was so like losing my shit over this that I needed an outlet. And so, you know, drinking to numb the pain, one night I got the liquid courage to hit record and hit upload.
There you go. There you
And
go.
that's my process. I find something that spurgs me the fuck out, have too many drinks, and then scream into the abyss.
That's hey, whatever motivation you can find to get that content made. Hey, that's your thing. If that's what you need to do, then that's what you need to do.
Mm. The best part is, it's now almost more about a year and a half since I started doing this. I have people who previously would tell me, "Oh, shut up with that, blah blah blah. I don't want to hear. That's bullshit." Are now coming up to me and saying, "Do you know this? Have you heard about this ridiculousness?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I tried to tell you like 2 years ago."
Yeah.
And and now even like more and more people, and this is circling back to that, the Canadians are cucked Trudeau worshippers. More and more people just randomly and like at work, striking up a conversation in a public place with somebody. It's coming more to the foreground,
Mm-hmm.
and people aren't happy about it, right? Because most
Yeah.
people don't want to be bothered. It's that simple, that you don't want to know that this shit is happening because you just want to go to work,
Yeah.
take care of you and yours and not have it be a problem. So when you start hearing about it, you ignore it as best you can. But once it starts really like affecting the policies under which you're going to live, people start to get pissed. And when Canadians get pissed, oh yeah, like I mean,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
So-
you've seen a hockey.
Yeah. It's always beware when a good man goes to war. This is a paraphrasal of Doctor Who, but it's you get the point. Yeah.
Yeah, and like people aren't. I mentioned this probably a couple weeks ago. I pulled into one of those McOil changer places, and I rolled down my window just in time to hear one of the oil changer guys say to the other, "Sharing's for communists," and waving him off. Right? It's like, yeah, okay, all right.
There you go. There you go. Hey,
Yeah.
so have a little patience in people. one of my mantras, of course, is to judge slowly. You you give yourself enough time to really adequately give somebody a chance to really kind of show them who you really are, show you who they really are. And it's been a long journey for me, of course, and but I've certainly found a great number of people on the internet that have really come to impress me, and um, I invited some of those people to help me out with a project that I had last December, collaboration video, and Irving Twin was one of these people that stepped up to say, "Hey, I'll help you out in making this collaboration video." Of course, was on the subject of what free speech means. And Irving, of course, he brought up a wonderful quote, and it certainly was one of the highlights of that video, which was a highlight reel of highlight reels. It was quite a great thing, and certainly I'm grateful that he was part of that, and certainly he is one of the voices that truly made it a special product. And man, I wish I had a link to it to put in the description. If I'll do that, of course, after this thing. I'll add it to there, so you get to see Irving make his mini speech. And I for the life of me, I can't remember who the quote was. You probably have a better memory of that.
I appreciate it, but I can't take that credit. That's John Stuart Mill. That's one of the smartest, wisest people, especially when it comes to the concept of free expression.
Yeah, yeah. But it was a great quote, and certainly your delivery of that quote was made that section of the collaboration video as special as it was, and I do thank you for that. You wouldn't happen to have that quote on you.
Give me 2 seconds.
All right, we'll get to hear Irving recite that quote again. But to get to the full effect, you need more than audio. You kind of need the video, because just the way he delivered it was really quite nice.
You need the angry look on my face, eh?
Yeah, yeah. To complete the full effect. But for right now, audio will suffice.
Yeah, okay. This is about, yeah. Okay, to refuse a hearing to an opinion because they are sure that it is false is to assume that their certainty is the same thing as absolute certainty. All silencing of discussion is an assumption of infallibility. And it basically just speaks to the humility of having a discourse even with people that you're sure are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're 100% certain they're wrong, you're 100% certain that you're right. And if you're 100% certain that you're right, probably something wrong.
Yeah. You're closing yourself off, essentially, which I used to do. And a lot of people would probably say the same thing, especially those that actively interact with the Chaos120 group. And I think it's fortunate that we've been able to associate ourselves with so many of those people that have come to that realization. And it's certainly a good thing that we ran across you. Kind of give people kind of an idea of how you found the Chaos120 group.
Through Minds, I was on Minds before, it started to not be as free speechy as they claimed it was going to be. And yeah, I went there because, Facebook had actually removed a number of my posts without even like notifying me, just they were gone.
You got zooked.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I've heard about this other thing through Dave Cullen, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's Computing Forever on YouTube. And yeah, so I jumped in and just met people that were, basically sick of the bullshit. And then, someone brought a few of us together and said, you know what, you're gonna love these guys. And I was so, like, I don't know. I had many trepidations about this, right? And then we clicked. We really clicked. So when Scooby and Burnside invited me to jump onto the Chaos120 stream, I met you and Ajax and a bunch of good people, and well, that's the story of it.
Yeah, yeah, and as they say, the rest is history. But it's a good history, certainly has been, and let's see, and I think through you we've met a couple of really interesting people. Let's see, it was I'm trying to remember. Well, you've brought people to Chaos 120. Just kind of list off a few people there. As, there have been so many great people that a lot of our regulars have brought attention to the Chaos 120 group. So
most notably, I think it would be, and most recently for me, is Craig Bragg.
yes,
The other Canadian.
the other Canadian.
Also, yeah, because you guys also stream with Alt Mentistry.
Yeah,
and he's a good dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, Craig Bragg makes some great videos, and again has because he's not strictly conservative, he's actually very libertarian. So much so that the way he puts it is he can't vote for the Borg parties anymore, which is blue, orange, red, or green.
Yeah.
In Ontario, so he's going to be voting libertarian, right?
There you go. Hey, you got to start somewhere. Certainly, the best the best course of action was not to vote for a guy simply because he wasn't the guy before, and I think that was, from my understanding, that was the case that brought Trudeau to the prime minister position in your country. That he was not
that and legalized marijuana.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know Canadian politics as much as I probably should, given that I live in North America, and Canadian politics should be a relevant subject. I know that Mintus is going to be sharing some stuff with us tonight on the broadcast. He's doing a little segment about Canadian stuff.
Mm-hmm. And he's far better versed in politics than I am.
Yeah.
I just have opinions, right?
So briefly, kind of give us an idea of where you see your channel going, say, in the next maybe 5 months.
Exactly as it is, but hopefully with more content. Since I've started a new job, I have had less time to make content, and and to be honest, the way it's sort of like that neurotic impulse rather than an actual process for creativity. The fact that I jump on streams with you guys really alleviates the pressure in my brain, and so I have fewer urges to make videos, because you guys, even though most of you are American, you do often give me the 3 to 5 minutes I need to scream about my country or my province or my city.
Well, hey, if it helps your creative process a little better, I would hate to suggest not streaming with us as often, but because that would, of course, that would deprive us of so many great conversations. So I'm having mixed feelings about that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So, because I do like making the content. I actually like the editing process, which some people find strange. A lot of people hate it. They wanna get their message out, but they don't wanna have to do all the cutting and pasting and the exporting, and you got to record something 3, maybe 4 times before you feel it's right. I love it. I love that.
Well, I'll tell you what. You might try this, is have a little notepad with you whenever you're streaming with us, and you do have something that you have venting yourself on stream. Just kind
Mm.
of jot down a few notes, like you know. So I was feeling it here, so I'm writing this down and making note of that, and kind of a rough estimate of where the video it is, so I can go back and look at that. Maybe that'll help you out. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I should be taking notes anyway.
Yeah, and thank you, Casper Fox. We do make some good shit, and that's cool. That's good of you to say. I know. I try to do my best whenever stuff. I try to make content, and I'm sure Irving's the same. That being said, we're coming to the end of the interview here. Is there anything that you'd like to shill out there, Irving, that isn't going to be in the description later?
Uh, I'm trying to. Nothing specific. I mean, like, it, do you all remember what's her name? Lauren Shepard, the Canadian TA who recorded her Marxist professors berating her for showing Jordan Peterson clips in class.
Right, right.
She is doing a talk. I can't remember exactly when, but
Badass.
go ahead. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's incredible. Go ahead and look her up, and you'll find the talk should be one of the first things that comes up in a search.
Awesome, awesome. Good. Thank you for letting us know about that. There is so much content that I don't that I'm unaware of, so I don't get to see. You don't get to watch 100% of the content that you're not aware of, and it's certainly been a pleasure being aware of your content, Irving. I watch your stuff regularly, and I have the alert bell, go off whenever you have something new up there. Um, well,
Much
what's that?
much appreciated. I have yours too. So
Oh, thank you very much. And I just want to thank everybody that showed up tonight in the chat. Thanks for listening to this interview. Um, it was certainly a great interview. It's always good to talk to Irving Twin, because he always has something awesome to say. And well, we got
too kind.
about we got about 2 minutes here. If there's anything that you'd like to make mention before we sign off here, the floor is yours there, Irving.
How about that? Recently, I've been discovering more and more people IRL that have definitely, again, for lack of a better term, been red pilled, and they're really starting to dislike the identity politics that more and more people who aren't, neck deep in the internet are. No, they know something's up, and definitely, whatever it is that the so-called alt-right people on the internet are doing is, all us Nazis. Whatever it is we're doing is working, and keep it up, guys. Right?
Yeah, certainly. Because it's left to us, unfortunately, because the mainstream media isn't going to do it. Community leaders aren't going to be doing it. The politicians aren't going to be doing it. Certainly, we're not getting it from pop culture as much as we would like to. So it is kind of up to us, the content creators, the streamers, the people that are on social media. It is kind of up to us to at least keep this ball rolling, if not to get it rolling in other areas. So it is a bit of a responsibility that we've been given this platform, and certainly the knowledge and the voices that we have to get our message across, and certainly get as many red pills out there to get people out of the funk that they're in, of just misinformation, misguidance, and just being in a state of confusion. And it's been a pleasure calling fellas like Irving Twin my compadres, my brother in arms, I suppose. I could say that a lot about a lot of people, and thank you for your contribution there, Irving. And I certainly look
Of
forward
course.
to everything that you got coming down the pipe in the future. Um, Saying that, I guess we're going to be signing off here, and thank you very much here, Irving, for being my interviewee tonight. Um,
Thanks for having me, man. Glad to
oh,
be here.
oh, you're very welcome. And I do have an idea who I'm having up next, and I'll be giving him a shout here pretty soon. In the meantime, hey, we got lots of other content on the Chaos120 Group's site. We're slowly building up a library of content, and enjoy what we have to offer thus far. Thank you, and everybody continue to have a great evening.
Thanks, Chad. Hail Sigmar.